Can you believe it? This grandmother suffering from dementia has become the only witness to the crime. She forgot the whole world, but did not forget to protect her granddaughter. This tear-jerking Korean movie will definitely make you laugh until you cry. Do-won is a claims adjuster at an insurance company, specializing in traffic accident claims. On his first day back at work, he received a call about a car that was 3% damaged, but the owner insisted on declaring it a total loss to claim insurance. According to regulations, a vehicle must be at least 80% damaged to be considered a total loss, but the owner would not relent. As the company's top claims adjuster, Do-won was used to such situations, so he took out a resignation letter from his drawer and headed straight to the scene. He got out of the car, dropped the resignation letter, and stood on the roof of the car with a large hammer. The car owner was terrified by this display. "What are you doing? Didn't you want to declare it a total loss? I'm helping you meet the conditions." With that, he swung the hammer in front of the owner's terrified eyes, and the owner could only watch helplessly as his car was truly turned into a total loss. The case was perfectly resolved, and Do-won picked up the resignation letter and hurriedly left the scene with his daughter, because his mother, Ms. Moon-hee, had started to contemplate ending her life again. Seeing his mother in the tree, Do-won raised the rope in his hand. "Let's use this one. That one's too thin." His mother shouted, "You really are a great filial son." His granddaughter Bo-mi, who was nearby, couldn't wait any longer. Her stomach hurt, and she wanted to go home to use the bathroom. His son chimed in, "Come hang from this tree. It's sturdy and thick." The old lady slipped in anger, and an unexpected incident occurred. But fortunately, the branch was not thick, and she fell down the next second. Grandma Moon-hee suffers from Alzheimer's disease, which is dementia. She causes trouble when confused and feels like a burden when clear-headed, always wanting to free herself. That scene has happened countless times, and everyone has gotten used to it, hoping she can take her medicine on time and not cause any more trouble. At night, after his mother and daughter fell asleep, Do-won quietly left home and went to a bar to start his nightlife, making the beautiful women laugh. At that moment, Do-won could never have imagined that shortly after he left home, a sudden incident would occur. When the hospital called, he was feeding someone fruit. When he rushed to the hospital and saw his daughter in critical condition, he instantly woke up, feeling as if the sky had fallen. The hit-and-run vehicle had fled, and his mother with dementia was the only witness. But she was not clear-headed at that moment and remembered nothing. A distraught Do-won questioned his mother about why she had to take his daughter out drinking so late. But his mother, who was having an episode, could only mumble like a child. Just then, Officer Kang Hyung-sa from the police station arrived to help. They received a report about Bo-mi's hit-and-run case, and since Do-won usually handled traffic accident claims, the two had a good relationship. After comforting the family, Hyung-sa rushed to the scene of the incident without delay. That night, there was a Mid-Autumn Festival celebration, and vehicles were prohibited from passing from 2000 to 000. It was difficult to see any cars nearby, and since the incident occurred too late, it was almost impossible to find any useful information, making the case quite tricky. Officer Hyung-sa could only check the surveillance footage from nearby blocks, and fortunately, he finally found the footage of the accident from a bar. Do-won felt the video in his hand was hot. He didn't even dare to open the computer, let alone see how his daughter was injured. After hesitating for a long time, he finally mustered the courage to click on the video, and upon seeing that scene, he felt his heart was shattered. Unfortunately, the footage was too dark, and the car was moving too fast, making it impossible to find any useful clues. Do-won cried as he watched, in immense pain, and his unconscious daughter seemed to hear his heart's voice and woke up at that moment. Upon waking, she pointed at the surveillance footage and mentioned a car model, Santa Fe SM. Do-won was both surprised and delighted. Not only had his daughter woken up, but there was also a clue. He quickly informed Hyung-sa and requested him to continue the investigation. In the end, he happily went to the mall to buy his daughter her favorite GPS watch. However, before Do-won could relax for long, another change occurred. His confused mother, in a moment of madness, pulled out all the tubes from Bo-mi, who had just been transferred to a regular ward with great difficulty, and in the blink of an eye, she was sent back to the emergency room. Du-won truly broke down. In a fit of anger, he wanted to kick his mother out of the house. This was not his mother. She would never harm Bo-mi. Years of accumulated resentment exploded in an instant as he shouted and pushed his mother. "What sin did I commit in my past life? Because of your illness, Bo-mi's mother lost her second child and even left us. Bo-mi is now my only emotional support. Why do you have to treat her like this?" Du-won cried as he left, while his mother stood there in a daze, somewhat confused. She didn't understand why her son was so angry and so sad. Remembering that Du-won loved cherries as a child, and that eating cherries would instantly lift his spirits, the old lady picked cherries in the rain all night. The next day, when she encountered Bo-mi by her hospital bed, she called out her son's childhood nickname, and as she called, tears streamed down her face. Her daughter was out of danger, and seeing her mother, who was even in a state of dementia yet filled with guilt, Du-won's resentment vanished. However, because she had been in the rain all night, his mother fainted. When she woke up, she was still in a state of dementia, repeatedly shouting, "Hit the butt," at the chubby nurse who came to change her dressing, creating an awkward atmosphere in the ward. Just as Du-won was about to stop his mother, he noticed she was watching a used car advertisement on TV. Suddenly, she remembered that her daughter had described the 2009 model Santa Fe SM as having a big butt, and it turned out she was talking about a car. Du-won suddenly realized that his mother's nonsensical words might actually be clues. It was just that no one had paid attention. After all, she was the only eyewitness to the accident. Under his guidance, the clues became more specific. The accident occurred at 11:55 p.m. The car was a Santa Fe SM, and it had an ugly eyebrow, which should be a feature of the car's hood. Du-won saw hope again and decided to investigate the perpetrator with his mother. Fortunately, Du-won's previous job involved a lot of dealings with cars, and soon he found the hood parts for all models of that car. However, before they could leave the factory, his mother was almost hit by a truck, but luckily the vehicle had just started moving, and there was no major harm. His mother sat there in a daze, and at that moment, the details of the accident flashed through her mind. After the car hit Bo-mi, it tried to hit a dog that was running wildly, but ended up crashing into a trash can. The mother and son found the dented trash can, and Du-won spread out a white paper and spotted two numbers, 1 and 5, which were likely part of the license plate number. He contacted Hyung-sa and had him input the information into the police system for a search. Although the scope was narrowed down again, the computer immediately froze, indicating that there were at least tens of thousands of vehicles, and they still couldn't find the perpetrator's car. Seeing this, Du-won calmed down and split up with Hyung-sa, one staying at the police station and the other searching for clues outside. When they returned home that night, his mother's mind briefly cleared, and she knocked on her head, forcing herself to recall the scene from that day. But she couldn't remember anything. Suddenly, the family's dog, Yingzi, barked wildly, bringing her back to that night. After the car hit the trash can, a piece of debris fell off, and she remembered putting that piece away, but she couldn't recall where. At that moment, the illness took control of her again. When Du-won came out, he saw his mother taking out a pack of snacks from the doghouse, trying to get him to eat. "This is better than cherries." And tightly bound with the snacks was a piece of bumper debris, the very piece that the perpetrator had left behind. It turned out that the elderly lady was afraid of forgetting, so she tied the evidence to her favorite snacks, so even if she got confused again, she would remember to give her son something tasty, and thus the evidence would be discovered. Du-won hugged his mother tightly, feeling a mix of emotions, realizing how much effort his ill mother had put in to preserve this evidence. The car was damaged, so it would definitely go for repairs, and repairs would most likely go through the insurance company. So the next day, Du-won took his mother to the company, and with the help of his colleagues, he identified a car owner who was reportedly hit by a wild boar. The car was already scrapped, and from the pictures, the car's color was similar to the debris. Du-won quickly took his mother to the repair shop handling the case, telling her they were treasure hunting, which excited her greatly. They held the piece of debris and compared it among the mountain of scrap car parts. And just then, a wild boar came charging through, causing them to flee in panic. That night, the car owner's dashcam footage came in, confirming that it was indeed a wild boar that was hit, and the clue was lost again. After chasing for so long and suffering alongside his mother, seeing her blissfully unaware and happy, Do-won couldn't help but tear up. "Mom." But no one answered him. The next day, while his mother was napping, she had a dream that surprisingly reminded her of more details and pointed out the direction the car had fled. They drove along the direction the perpetrator had escaped, traversing every road in the nearby towns, checking surveillance and asking passers-by, but the results were minimal. Just as the two were preparing to head home, the car broke down, and the nearest repair shop happened to be the one handling the wild boar case. The boss was repairing the car, and the mother remembered the treasure digging with her son, so she couldn't help but start rummaging around, throwing a broken bumper at Do-won. While scolding his mother, Do-won recalled the boss saying that at this time of night, he was the only one still open for business, so he couldn't help but take out the piece and compare it. This comparison turned out to be significant. He actually discovered a discarded bumper that fit perfectly with the fragment. The car involved in the accident was indeed repaired here. Looking at the numbers, 1155, that his mother wrote on the nearby whiteboard, he realized it wasn't the time of the incident, but the license plate number. Poor mother reminded herself to remember but forgot what she remembered, only able to repeat it over and over. At this moment, the identity of the perpetrator slowly surfaced. The boss said that one night a woman came in to repair a car, a Santa Fe 1155, claiming she hit a dog, and there was quite a bit of blood in the car, but not a single dog hair was found. After the repairs, she even gave him a hush money. The boss felt a bit uneasy, so he secretly noted down the car's identification code and the owner's information. Do-won's heart was tightly wound, not daring to relax at all. After the car was repaired, he immediately rushed to that address with the information. Sure enough, he saw the Santa Fe with the license plate number 1155 there, and the identification number matched. After taking photos for documentation, he grabbed a crowbar and wanted to go upstairs to find the perpetrator. But at the last moment, he suppressed that impulse and instead called Hyung-sa, crying as he spoke. Hyung-sa advised him not to do anything foolish, to quickly return with the evidence and leave the rest to the police. Do-won also wanted to quickly tell his family this news, hoping Bo-mi might wake up upon hearing it, so he hurried home. Unexpectedly, he received a call from Hyung-sa midway, saying that the woman had turned herself in. As soon as he pushed open the hospital room door, he saw his cousin tearing at that woman. Do-won pulled the woman over and was even more shocked. Wasn't this the woman he borrowed a lighter from at the hospital the night Bo-mi had her accident? Since she was already at the hospital then, why did she only turn herself in now? Do-won screamed in despair, completely broken, and the woman casually replied. Seeing this, his cousin became even angrier. The hospital room was a mess, but at that moment, his mother stepped forward and said, "The murderer isn't her." Do-won cried and asked who the murderer really was, but his mother fell silent again. She couldn't remember either. Soon, the woman was sent to prison, and the case of the hit-and-run was solved, causing quite a stir in the local area. That woman was a client of another insurance company, which sent her insurance documents over. When Do-won saw that there was an additional designated person listed, he recalled his mother saying that the murderer was not her, and a knot formed in his heart. Could there be other hidden truths? So he requested more detailed documents from that insurance company. And when he saw the name of the additional designated person, Do-won's eyes widened in disbelief. He immediately rushed to the police station and said to the woman, "You really don't understand insurance companies at all. Do you think they will compensate for every accident? From the moment you confessed, every compensation I received has been deducted from your account. The amount of compensation you have to pay depends entirely on me. Get ready to go bankrupt. Kang Hyung-sa probably didn't tell you to prepare more money, did he?" Hearing this, the woman showed a look of terror. Indeed, the additional designated person was Kang Hyung-sa, who had been running around for Do-won and was the actual hit-and-run driver. That night they were in the same car, and after the incident, the woman was very scared and wanted to confess, but Kang Hyung-sa disagreed. With infidelity, drunk driving, and hit-and-run, he could end up serving a long sentence, so they kept the matter hidden. Meanwhile, He took advantage of his position to erase much evidence under the pretext of helping Do-won. No wonder the woman confessed as soon as there was a clue. Just as Do-won was preparing to confront Kang Hyung-sa, he saw the magic wand that his mother often carried at the police station entrance, and then discovered his phone, which indicated that his daughter's location watch was rapidly moving away from the city. When he called back to ask, it turned out that his mother had taken his daughter's location watch and had gone missing. Do-won realized that something was wrong and quickly followed the location. It turned out that just as Do-won discovered that the real culprit was Kang Hyung-sa, his mother briefly regained consciousness and seemed to remember something. She found Kang Hyung-sa and rolled up his sleeve, revealing the red bracelet. It turned out that the person who initially removed the tubes from his daughter was not his mother, but Kang Hyung-sa. Seeing that the matter was exposed, he had the intent to kill and hung the mother in a dilapidated warehouse. When Do-won arrived, he happened to block Kang Hyung-sa from returning. Upon seeing him, Do-won was furious and slammed on the gas, crashing into him. Both of them were not in good shape after the collision. However, Kang Hyung-sa's car had a high safety rating and quickly recovered, while Do-won's car flipped over on the roadside and could not move. Seeing this, Kang Hyung-sa's eyes turned fierce as he crazily charged at him. At the critical moment, a tractor rushed over from the side, swerving and pushing him into the field, and it was his mother. It turned out that the warehouse was not very sturdy, and in her struggle, the roof broke a big hole, allowing her to save her life. At this time, the mother and son worked together to push Kang Hyung-sa back step by step. Before long, the police arrived and took control of Kang Hyung-sa. Because the woman in the prison was scared, she took the initiative to confess the truth to the police, and Kang Hyung-sa would also face his judgment. Thus, this incident finally came to an end, and the Do-won family returned to peace.